Hey, it's AbandWeapon.com. I was just thinking about the zombie, the amount of victims, the zombie victims in America. So, back in the days, we'll just explore the old programs. You had MK Ultra, imported Nazi fascist scientists from Germany, splitting them in spoils. Mind scientists, that's code for psychiatrist. And mind scientists and propulsion scientists and other bullshit. The psychiatrist expertise was mind control and their weapon. Okay, the APA doesn't want to admit this, but they condone this, and they were doing the same types of stuff. They got a whole bunch of doctors, new psychiatrists that were working on radiation, and mind control chips, and drugs. All the same crap. Using electricity to wipe your memory. They're doing all the same shit that they did in MK Ultra and everything. We wanted to have more and more of that. We wanted to bring them over and control them, prevent other countries from having access to them and shit. And that's what Paperclip was, Project Paperclip. CIA was in charge of doing that, bringing them over to America, putting them to work in hospitals and universities and shit. Today we have this world that's built on this. CIA torture doctors, these were oftentimes paid by the CIA. These doctors and DARPA and fucking health, whoever, the health organization and all these different places in the government. And they wrote the DSM. They basically wrote it for their own purpose, right? They're basically writing up these conditions to hide literally some of the stuff they were doing. They wrote that in the DSM. DSM omits all the shit about what they're doing and how it's all real. Government's funding this shit. So, what is it? You go and look up psychosis, and you find that all the symptoms there, that's the same stuff going on in a person, a victim of what they're doing. The very top doctor back in the APA, back in the 50s, was one of the guys who wrote the fucking DSM. Okay, and then they had multiple doctors, all the colleges and universities around the country, okay? And there's Dr. Green, and there's Dr. West, and, UCLA, and all this fucking shit. And they got away with hurting a lot of people. More than 100,000, multiple hundreds of thousands, into the millions. No one even knows. We just know the tip of the iceberg, according to the MK Ultra documents and other documents. There's other successive programs too. I've heard it. Robert Duncan's talked about it, and then Colin Ross. No, not Colin Ross. Fred Bell. Who is it? There's so many of these people. Oh, Ted Gunderson. Ted Gunderson had the name of the successive program to MK Ultra. He gave it one of his videos. This is fucking insane. Okay? And what it is though, it's like zombies. Everywhere you look, around every corner, you got a new victim. That's the way it looks. And you go on the internet, and that's where you're finding the concentration of reports. There's so many reports that this is going on. There's groups with thousands of people on Facebook. And they call themselves targeted individuals. It's just insane. There's no end to the reports of this crap. And the stuff they're doing is so traumatic to the victims that they sound nuts. But they're not nuts, and it's not hard to understand. You just gotta assume it's true. Oh my God, weapon, patent, the ability to manufacture technology and use it. And then that's what the person's complaining about is used on them. There's something in them, there's something done to them. That's all it is. In MK Ultra, they did that. Hundreds of thousands, possibly millions. People on the streets, drugged with LSD, having substances used on them, chips, radiation. And they're running live operations to hurt people. So there's so many. And it went on for years and years and decades. No one shut it down. There could be a person file a lawsuit over it. They did. They filed lawsuits in the 60s. Just dismissed the lawsuit. That's all the judges were just, there's a complaint about something real happening and I'm just going to dismiss the lawsuit about it. That's what they did. There's hundreds of lawsuits like that today. I've read them. Lawsuit after lawsuit. You can find stuff about this in there. Some of them are very good. They got professionals. They got affidavits. Some have lawyers. The judges are goddamn shit. And this country's shit. But anyway, that's what it looks like. If you want to find what's real, all you got to do is look at, it's going to be real when you see a dismissed lawsuit. That's reality. That's where you go to look for the evidence of all this. And there's complaints sent to the FBI. There's all this stuff on the internet. There's stuff in the New York Times. There's stuff in the Washington Post. CNN. Fucking coast to coast. Millions and millions of people have read the stories already. Okay? And heard it on radio and TV. Just keeps coming. Zombies around every corner. The stories are non-stop. Can't stop it. That's how you know it's real, because it's just zombies around every corner. It's not hard to find this. And it's not hard to find a group of people targeting that one person who's the victim either, irrationally calling them out as a mentally ill person. That happens a lot too. Irrational motherfuckers. That's the general public. They're very irrational. They don't know two shits about anything. They're psychopathic. They're impulsive. They don't use their brains before typing a message. They don't have any knowledge of science, and they don't work in the government. They don't fucking know. Their government, they don't really like... Some of them do work for the government, though. I mean, there's lots of organized groups of people that go out, slander, things like this. Some of these people are very educated. They don't want to let anyone know about it. But there's zombies and zombies of people. And no, I mean, isn't it truth that they have hundreds of satellites up there, all with directed energy abilities to focus radiation at people? Yeah. Don't they have radar on the ground that does that? Yeah. Can't they design this and put this on cell phone towers? They could. They could even put it in a building. You know, they could hide an entire satellite worth of equipment in a wall. It's so compact, just a meter by a meter, you know? Meter by meter by meter. Little cube. It's so fucking compact these days. Put terahertz crap in a cell phone. We were talking about that once. Be able to see through walls with your cell phone. That's old. That's from like 2006, 2007. They got... Anyway. Anyway, we get all these stupid articles on the internet about the news and technology and how it's going down. This is bullshit. You never see anything from these stories because it all gets bought up by the government and it's all secret shit. They're just stockpiling technology. Everything that they're doing is for the government only. I mean, they were beaming voices into people's heads in the 60s and 70s with microwaves, okay? How come no one's heard of that? You know? It's fucking old. The military radar patent to read brainwaves, it's just like an fMRI patent, except it focuses on the magnetic, electromagnetic signals, okay? Instead of blood flow, it's reading the actual evoked potentials, okay? The brain frequencies, the radio frequencies. And how come no one talks about that technology? They have an MRI machine that works, scans your brain in a 3D way, but is measuring the electrical signals? Yeah, they do. But it's all classified. The military's got it. It's patented. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. And that's the secret. They just hide the technology. They put it in a fucking radar or a satellite. Or they have it in their labs. And they don't let the public see it anywhere. That's how they keep it a secret. That's the... And this is... And what they do let the public have are little electrodes you got to put on your head everywhere. The electrodes capture the radio frequency right at that point. Well, this technology reads the brain deep because it's wherever their radio frequency radar beams into. So they aim it right here, they'll get a reading from here. Aim it here, they'll get a reading from here. aim it deep in your brain for multiple points. I'll read it there. So they're mapping out everything in more detail and more precision than the piece of shit little electrodes do. And that's the way it works. So same resolution as an MRI, exact same or higher, because they're imaging electrons with this thing. And the fucking public doesn't have nothing like that. So where is it? The patent says it exists. The whistleblowers say it exists. There is some stuff on Wikipedia about it. Electron spin resonance, and there's another imaging technique. Almost the exact same shit. But you don't have it in public hospitals and universities. You can read a person's brain out and figure out what was wrong with that shit. Read out the memories, use it in court and stuff. But government doesn't want that. That's all hidden. Man, zombies and zombies of people, though, they do use it as a weapon. Have you ever tried to approach the governor's office and get told to leave? Well, that's the type of shit that's everywhere. And the public's told to leave at every fucking stage. Okay? People don't even know because they're living their lives like a dipshit and they never go up to they never try to expose this. They never get into activism and crap. But our government's very violent. It's insane. They're trying to avoid infiltration. They're watching us. They're watching everybody.